Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 40 of the Drop It podcast. This podcast is tailor-made for those of you with weight to lose, those of you that are losing weight now, and those of you that are bathing in the success of your weight loss accomplishment. If it's your first time on the show, welcome. I'm your host, Nick Geoppo, and 5 years ago, I lost 110 pounds after a lifetime of losing weight and gaining it back, trying every single fucking diet you have ever heard of. So if you've lost weight and never gained it back before, there is a way. There is a way to lose weight and keep the weight off, and it's through working on your mindset and focusing on lifestyle changes over dieting. There is no amount of dieting or restriction that will ever result in permanent weight loss unless you want to be obsessed with your diet or counting calories every single day for the rest of your life. What are you learning? And how are you putting these lessons that you're learning into practice? And that leads us into the topic of today's episode, which is how to stay healthy or stay on your weight loss journey or maintain your results, even when you're on vacation, even when you're on a work trip, anytime that you're outside of your environment, outside of your home, your kitchen, your apartment, wherever you live, or even outside of your city or your town or your state, or places that you're familiar with where you have some go-to meals that you're regularly eating. We talk so much about, and a major part of the common sense diet, and something that I teach all of my clients in the very, very beginning of us working together, is how to create some go-to meals. Doesn't mean that you eat the same thing every day, but this idea that you're never going to know what you're eating and then just decide whatever you feel like all the time, it's not going to work, and it creates a lot of decision fatigue. So what we do is we create 5 to 10 go-to meals that already fit your calorie and your protein goals, that are made of mostly whole, real, and natural foods that you can prepare in less than 15 minutes so that you never have to count calories ever again. You just measure the meals one time and then you eyeball them forever. And if you're a little over or a little under, then that's totally fine. They're whole, real, and natural foods because we know that whole, real, natural, or mostly single ingredient foods are better for you. They help you with cravings, they help you achieve the health that you're looking for, and they just make you feel better. And then also, they're less than 15 minutes to make so that they're ultra convenient, and cooking doesn't have to be a pain in the ass anymore. That's what the common sense diet teaches. That's what I teach my clients, right? How to build these go-to meals. But what about when you're existing outside of your environment? So we work on go-to meals that are at fast food places or that are at restaurants that you typically go to. But what about when you're just out of town? You're on vacation or you're on a work trip. I just got back from a 3-day work trip in Houston, Texas. I live in Austin, so 3 or 4 hour drive. And the whole time that I'm on this trip, I lost weight 5 years ago. I've had a really healthy relationship with food for the last 2 or 2.5 or so years. And I did so by practicing making healthy decisions in unfamiliar environments. So I'm going to walk you through all of the different decisions that I made, why I made them, how I felt afterwards, and what I maybe could have done different, and also what I would do different if I was still on a weight loss journey. I'm not on a weight loss journey anymore. I don't think about food outside of content creation and outside of this podcast and outside of coaching. Food is not a major part of my life. I'm very standardized, and I love the food that I eat, but I'm not thinking about it all the time. Sometimes when I'm in unfamiliar environments, I think about food a little bit more because I know that when I'm just mindless and making wrong decisions again and again and again, I feel like absolute dog shit, and it makes my life a lot worse. So I walk into this hotel. The first decision, I'm staying at the Hilton, that I'm faced with is, do I want a warm cookie or not? You walk into a hotel, you're on vacation or you're on a work trip, and you're kind of tired, it's 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and they offer you a warm sugar cookie, a big one. Do you take the cookie or not? There's no right or wrong answers, right? For me, the way that I think about it is common sense diet. Does this cookie enhance my experience of staying in this hotel? One of the rules of the common sense diet is eat mom's apple pie when she makes it. And what that means is enjoy food in celebration when the food is a part of the celebration. Is this cookie a part of my enjoyment of this trip? Or am I just eating this cookie and saying yes because it kind of sounds good and I'm, fucking tired and I'd love to just reward myself with the cookie because it'll help me settle down and, I'll just feel better, right? That's emotional eating. Again, there's no right or wrong answer, but you got to zoom out from what's happening. So what I do is I consciously in that decision, it takes me 1 second in that situation to do, but I still do this. And this is how you make healthy decisions for the long term. Imagine you're looking at your own life from a camera's view. So I just, for 1 second, if there was a camera right there in the hotel and I was watching myself, what would I recommend that I do? I walked in and I was like, this cookie, it actually does really sound amazing. I haven't eaten any processed foods the whole day. I've been eating very clean, all whole, real, natural foods. I really want the cookie. So what I did was I took the cookie and I ate half of it and then I just threw the other half away. And then I just forgot that I ate the cookie. That was it. What if you just found balance with the foods that you really craved, right? So when I was fat as fuck, or when I was on my weight loss journey, even after I lost weight for a couple years and was still struggling with an unhealthy relationship with food, I would always say no to the things that I wanted, and that would lead to me overeating later. So how this would have played out for me 4, 5, or 6 years ago, so I would have said, no, I'm on a diet. I'm not going to eat the cookie because I'm trying to lose weight. And then I would go upstairs to the hotel room and think about the fucking cookie. And then I would end up walking downstairs and eating 2 or 3 of the cookies. Where if I could have just eaten half of one and then walked away, I would have been totally fucking fine. So it's making that mental switch, right? Had I been eating more bullshit throughout that day or not eaten very well for that day, or if I didn't feel good, then I would have not eaten the cookie. I would have said, actually, I already ate a scoop of ice cream, for lunch. Or I had some chips with my lunch earlier and that probably wasn't great, so I'd pass on the cookie. And then just forget about it and move on. And sometimes that creates discomfort. You learn to work through that discomfort over time, and now I don't feel that discomfort ever. I could eat clean food every day forever and be totally fine, but I consciously choose to sometimes eat processed foods or junk foods because I fucking like them, the same way that everyone does, and it's a part of being a human being. There is a world where you can give yourself permission to eat processed foods without overdoing it when the situation calls for it. It doesn't always need to be a celebration. I'm not celebrating going to the Hilton. I just wanted half of a fucking cookie. So I just ate half the cookie and I threw the other half away. And the way that I did that was by splitting the cookie in 2 and throwing half away before I even took a bite. Because I know myself, and if I pull open a big jug of ice cream and then go, okay, I'm just going to eat a few bites of it, then I'll end up eating a lot more. But if I scoop the ice cream out and put it in a bowl and then put the ice cream back away, I'm not going to just keep eating it over and over again. It takes time to work through the discomfort. If this is something that you're not used to and you're in that cookie situation, you find yourself craving more cookies, give yourself permission to sit with the cravings. I've got a free guide that you can have on how to work through cravings. If you want it, you can save it on your phone and take a picture of it and work through the 10 steps to beat cravings and prove to yourself that you have what it takes. The link for that is in the description of this podcast episode. It's yours totally for free. So that was the first decision I was faced with, the cookie at the Hilton, and I ended up eating half of one cookie. The next day I wake up and I walk downstairs, 6 or 7 in the morning, hotel breakfast. You walk up, you've got biscuits, you've got cookies. They've got Biscoff cookies, which I love. They've got coffee with a bunch of sugar, a bunch of creamer. They've got pancakes and gravy and syrup and butter and toast and waffles and bacon. And then they've got fruit and they've got sugary cereal, right? You're walking up to a nice hotel breakfast. What are you gonna do? Do you eat breakfast? Do you not eat breakfast? Do you order breakfast from somewhere else because you're trying to lose weight, because you're prioritizing your health, because you're on a diet, which you shouldn't be saying if you're listening to this podcast. None of us are dieting. We're all just prioritizing our health by eating healthier foods and healthier portion sizes, right? Here's what I do 5 or 6 years after losing weight, after developing a healthy relationship with food. I know in myself that when I eat bullshit in the morning, I feel like shit throughout the day. You feel sluggish when you eat bullshit in the morning. Every single fucking person does, right? So take the calories aside, take the health aside. My goal for the day is to feel good because I'm at a 2 or 3 day work conference and I want to be really present and I want to have a lot of high energy. So what I do for breakfast is I drink a black coffee with Greek yogurt, with pineapple, with an apple with blueberries. I had 2 or 3 servings of fruit with Greek yogurt for my protein source, and then I drank a coffee. That was my breakfast. And then I left the hotel, and I just said no to all of the other bullshit because I'm focusing on how the food is going to make me feel after I eat it. What foods can I eat that are going to get me protein? It's hard to get protein on the road. You really have to prioritize protein, right? You don't typically have ample amounts of meat or other protein sources. Things like Greek yogurt at a hotel breakfast, a really high protein source, and it's healthy. And then throw in some fruit there so that I can maintain getting all of nature's candies, vitamins from apples, pineapples, and blueberries. So that was my breakfast. I go to this work conference. I'm there for 3 or 4 hours. And then lunch comes around. And for lunch, they brought in Mediterranean food. So imagine you're at a work event or at a lunch or whatever that looks like for you, and they've got catered Mediterranean food. So what that means is unlimited pita, unlimited meat, unlimited vegetables, unlimited rice. Eat whatever you want. There's 4 times more than anyone could even eat here with brownies. What are you going to do? Put yourself in that situation, right? You walk out of this 4-hour conference. It's fucking boring. You're tired a little bit. You didn't sleep great in the hotel room. You're socializing with coworkers. Everybody's drinking Coke and Diet Coke and just slugging coffees. And then you walk out and here's a buffet of Mediterranean food. What are you going to eat? Here's what I eat. I ate 2 servings of chicken with a bunch of vegetables, onions, bell peppers, and they had jalapenos as well. And that's all I ate. I skipped on the rice. I skipped on the pita. I've been skipping on the Coca-Colas and the Diet Cokes that everybody's been drinking the whole time, and I'm just drinking water and then coffee in the morning. And everyone else ate a bunch of pita with a bunch of rice. Again, there's nothing wrong with these foods, right? Rice especially. Rice is a whole, real, natural, single ingredient food. I know in myself that when I eat a bunch of rice in the middle of the day, I'm just tired. It's kind of heavy. I eat rice every day at home, typically for dinner, right? I'm not pounding cups of rice for lunch or any time earlier in the day because I'm focused on my energy levels. This food is here to contribute to my life. I walk out into this catered environment and I think, what foods do I like the taste of that are good for me, that will contribute to my life? Not just contribute to the taste and my taste buds and my immediate gratification, but contribute to my experience at this work event. So I just ate meat and vegetables and drank water. Everyone else overate on everything else. And the whole afternoon, people are needing more coffee. People are falling asleep. People are literally yawning. You can see them yawning at the event. And I'm perfectly engaged, locked in, and present the entire time. And the reason why is because I made healthy decisions for lunch where nobody else did. Right? Because I made healthy decisions for lunch where nobody else did, I'm more engaged. I'm raising my hand. I'm first person to volunteer. I understand what's being asked. I'm not zoning out. And because of that, I show up in a better way than most of my coworkers did. So people talk about, like, does losing weight make you happier, right? Eating healthier foods than other people around you will make it so that you have more energy than the other people around you, and you'll show up better, and you'll make more fucking money. That's been my experience. So I've made more money because I've showed up better in the work environment that has allowed me to move anywhere in the organization that I work for that I want to, and quadruple my income in the last 3 or 4 years. You can have that same experience as well. For me, it started with food. So I made healthy decisions for lunch. After this event, we have a 1-hour break, right? It's 5 or 6 o'clock. And now we're all meeting up for bowling. And we're going bowling. And for bowling, they've got pizza. They've got fried chicken. They've got unlimited alcohol. It's all just open tab, whatever you want, right? Unlimited alcohol. There's not a single whole, real, or natural food at this bowling alley. There's no salads. There's no way to just order meat. Everything's fried. And we're bowling from 7 to 10 p.m. So there's no time for me to go get dinner somewhere else. I haven't had a break. What do you do in that situation? Well, what you do is you eat mom's apple pie when she makes it. And you practice having balance in an environment that is just predominantly ruled by bullshit, right? All those foods are total dog shit. They're things that we know are bad for us. The same way that we know that alcohol is bad for us, that doesn't mean you can't ever go get 1 or 2 drinks with your friends, right? We're intentionally poisoning ourselves with processed foods, with alcohol, whatever it is, for the sake of connection with others. That's a human thing. We've been doing it forever. We eat cake on our birthday. We know that cake isn't good for us. It's a part of being a human. It's a part of connection. It's a part of celebration. So I step into this environment. I look at the menu. I say, there's really nothing that I can get here that's going to make me feel really great after I eat it. So what I'm going to do is practice having some balance around these foods that are not healthy. And I'm not going to beat myself up for making unhealthy decisions because I don't have any other choice here. And the other choice that I could make would be really inconvenient. I'd have to leave the bowling alley and it would be awkward. So I'm just going to eat what other people are eating. So I had a slice of pizza. I had 2 or 3 chicken strips. I had a handful of French fries. And then I started bowling and I felt totally fine. I had a beer. And now we're an hour later and they're still bringing food out. And I'm thinking, it's fine. So then I have another slice of pizza. And that's overeating. I had 2 pieces of pizza and 3 chicken strips and a handful of French fries and a beer. That's probably about 12 to 1,500 calories, which for a lot of people on their weight loss journey is about what you're eating in a day, right? That's after breakfast and after lunch. So I overate a lot in that one day. And I felt fine. But then I wake up the next morning and I don't feel very good. I feel a little constipated. I feel kind of tired. My sleep quality wasn't very good. And I wake up and I go downstairs to get hotel breakfast. So put yourself in this situation, right? We're going on day 2 of this work event. You ate like shit the night before. You ate maybe a little more than you should have, the way that I did. If I was to weigh myself, I might even be 2 pounds heavier because of all the salty shit that I ate, right? And now I'm back at the same hotel breakfast. What I wanted to eat was waffles, pancakes, and syrup with donuts and cookies for breakfast with the coffee. And the reason why I wanted to eat that on day 2, but not on day 1, is because on day 2, I was already eating bullshit the night before. So the bullshit meter wants to carry over. When you eat a bunch of bullshit for lunch, you just want to eat bullshit for dinner. It just happens, right? Because I'm not taking care of myself anyway. And the cravings. There are foods that are designed to make you crave more of them. When you eat a donut for breakfast, you're a lot more likely to eat bullshit for later in the day than you are if you eat a healthy breakfast, right? So I go downstairs and I feel the urges to eat these foods the way that I did it the morning before. And I consciously recognize the reason why I'm having these urges, even though I didn't yesterday, is because I slept like shit last night because I ate bullshit last night. So I'm going to consciously decide to eat a healthy breakfast again. Instead of skipping breakfast, what I used to do was either eat bullshit for breakfast the next day or skip breakfast entirely to try to make up for it. There's nothing to make up for. What you need to do is practice stepping right back into healthy decisions. So this is all. It's kind of subconscious for me. I'm saying consciously, but these are 1-second decisions that I'm making, right? And it took me time to get here. I'm not sitting down and running through this whole mental process that I'm walking you through. This is just how I act in the world now without putting too much thought into it. So I sit back down and I eat Greek yogurt with a pineapple, an apple, and blueberries. And I drink a coffee, black. And then I go back to the work event, day 2, right? I feel good. I just ate some healthy food. I'm fine. I went on a walk after that, let the food digest, get my steps in for the day. I go to lunch, and guess what they fucking have for lunch? Pizza, right? So now we're getting into, I'm starting to see how sluggish everyone else is. And when you really go on this journey and you start recognizing other people's patterns and then seeing your old patterns and other people's patterns, you start really seeing the difference that eating healthy food is making, right? People are fucking tired. People have big bags under their eyes. People are hungry to eat this pizza. And we've got a bunch of people overeating pizza. There's no other options besides the pizza. We've got a 90-minute lunch break. What do you do? You can't eat mom's apple pie every single fucking day, right? And when you're in situations like this where I'm on a 3-day work trip plus a day of driving on either side, it's like there's going to be some times where I'm going to have to not go with the crowd. And the crowd's eating pizza. And I still kind of feel a little bit like shit from the night before. So I just think, man, if I eat this pizza, I know I'm going to be tired this afternoon. I know I'm going to feel like shit. I'm still a little constipated from what I ate last night. So I left for lunch on our 90-minute break. And I went to the grocery store that was 2 blocks away. And I got some chicken that was pre-cooked. And I got some fruit. And that's what I ate for lunch. with an RX bar. It's like a natural protein bar. And I ate that for lunch, and I came back, got some more steps in. I was able to walk a mile or so during that lunch break, drank a lot of water, came back during the whole afternoon of us getting preached at for a 4-hour presentation or whatever the hell we were doing. I'm engaged and I'm here and I'm locked in. I'm not distracted. I'm not checking my phone. I'm not yawning. I'm not thinking about food. I'm not thinking about how tired I am. I'm fully engaged and I'm present, and it's clear that I'm more engaged than a lot of the other people around me because they just ate a fuck ton of pizza after eating bullshit for breakfast and after eating bullshit for dinner the night before. Give yourself permission to do the unpopular thing. So yes, I had people ask me what I did for lunch and where I was going, and I just said, I just kind of feel like shit. I don't really want to eat bullshit right now. So I'm just going to go get my own lunch, but I'll be back. And then I just left. You don't have to explain exactly why the way that I am. But for me, it's like I own, like, I'm a healthy person, and man, I just feel this pizza is going to make me feel like shit afterwards. I'm prioritizing my health. It's not, and you're not prioritizing your health, right? It's not a comparison thing. It's just you are prioritizing your health. Step out of that environment and spend $7 on your own food the same way I did to have a great rest of the day. So then we go out to dinner, right? These work trips are constant. It's whatever you want to eat in unlimited quantities, right? So you can really, really overdo it here. Then we go out to dinner. We're at a steakhouse. So steakhouses, order whatever you want. No cap on how much money you want to spend. As much booze as you want. As much anything as you want. There's 20 people there and they've got 15 appetizers, right? So what are you going to do? Appetizers plus bread. What do you do in that situation? You're on a weight loss journey. You're at a catered lunch or someone's getting you dinner in this situation and you get to eat whatever you want on the menu. And everyone's ordering appetizers, bread and fried chicken and nachos and spinach dip and all this shit that you might struggle to eat balanced. Here's what I do. Here's what I did. I ordered a steak with a side of asparagus, and I ate one serving of one appetizer. And I drank water instead of booze. And nobody noticed that I was making healthy choices. It wasn't like I'm missing out on the experience of being there by not eating the bread. It's not like I'm missing out on the experience by not drinking the booze. I just ordered a mocktail that had no calories. It's like I really felt amazing after that. And I went home and had a great night's sleep. And I woke up on day 3. I made another healthy decision for breakfast and lunch. And then I drove home in the evening and ate at home for dinner. And that's how I handled all those different decisions. You can see how many times I had in that 3-day work trip where I could have just said, fuck it, it's unlimited food. How often do I get unlimited food? How often do you get unlimited food that you don't have to pay for? Right? It's not all the time. So don't you just deserve free alcohol? Don't you just deserve to drink it's free. Don't you deserve to eat that pizza you don't even pay for? You got to get your money's worth because you didn't pay for it. So eat as much as you can because it's free. It's not free. The cost that you're paying is with your own health. You don't deserve a bunch of bullshit food. What you deserve is to feel good about yourself. What you deserve is to show up as the best version of yourself. And I could not have done that at this work event if I was eating a bunch of bullshit. I would have showed up as this tired, lethargic, fucking lazy guy. The same way that a bunch of other people did, right? And I could see it. I could see it because that's how I was for the first few years of my career when I was still fat as fuck. And learning these tools and just zooming out. When you're next time you're in this position, just zoom out from what's happening and try to predict the future of how you're going to feel, right? One thing you're going to notice is I talk about planning ahead all the time. I never mentioned planning ahead on this trip one time because I didn't know what food we were going to have. If you're on a vacation and you typically know what you're going to be eating or where you're going to be, plan ahead so you have a plan. But when you're in a situation like I was in where you're just making split-second decisions, just pause and take a breath and ask yourself, what would a healthy person do? Not what would a skinny person do? Not what would a not fat person do? What would a healthy person do? What would someone that's on a weight loss journey and telling people that they're prioritizing their health do? What would someone that is working with a weight loss coach do? What would someone with a healthy mindset do? And you just ask yourself that one question. What would someone with a healthy relationship with food do? They wouldn't say no to every single bullshit thing. They would practice some balance and they would prioritize healthy foods most of the time. And they would sit with the discomfort of wanting more when they did. And over the course of months, days, weeks, months, and years, they would develop the healthy relationship with food that they really desire. That's what a healthy person would do. That's what someone on a sustainable weight loss journey would do. Then you can ask yourself, what would an unhealthy person do? What an unhealthy person would do is eat a bunch of bullshit for 9 consecutive meals for 3 days. What an unhealthy person would do was just take the easy route of the food that's given to you in your face every time. What an unhealthy person would do is gain weight on a work trip because they ate some bullshit or a lot of bullshit, or just because they ate more. That happens. I gained 2 pounds in 3 days on this trip, right? And I come back. What an unhealthy person would do when they got on the scales, feel really bad about it, and then continue making unhealthy choices and letting it compound into multiple meals, days, weeks, months, or just lead to them quitting entirely. What a healthy person would do, what I did in this situation, was said, I gained 2.5 pounds on this trip. That makes total sense because I ate more food than normal. I ate more junk food than I normally do, and I'm just holding more water weight. I could see it in my face, right? And then after 2 days, the 2.5 pounds that I gained were gone, and I totally forgot about it. That's what a healthy person would do. But that could take you some time to get there. So really, when you're really in these situations, just what would a healthy person do? What would an unhealthy person do? Do I want to be healthy, or do I want to be unhealthy? What would a balanced person do? What would a non-restrictive person do? And the more you do that, the more balance, the more non-restrictive, the more abundant, the more healthy you will be. The more weight you will lose, maybe not as fast, and the more weight you will keep off. Losing weight doesn't matter if you don't keep the weight off. As I said at the beginning of this episode, the only way you'll ever keep the weight off is if you address your mindset. Every situation I just walked you through, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, cookies, for every day, these are tools and opportunities for you to practice a healthy mindset. The goal is to look at the cookie situation as a lesson for yourself that you can apply to every single fucking area of your life. You don't have to learn control to eat healthier. You have to eat healthier to learn control. We have it backwards. We tend to think that we're going to eat healthier and then we're going to become healthy people. You have to become a healthy person first so that you can eat healthier. I'm not talking about your body, I'm talking about your mind. Give yourself permission to be healthy right now. Again, if you have a really fat body, I'm not talking about your body, I'm talking about your mind. Snap your fingers and give yourself permission to have a healthy mindset. Someone with a healthy mindset eats healthy foods most of the time. And you can do that starting right now. You don't even have to wait until tomorrow. You could do that during the next meal or the next decision that you have to make. It never gets easier necessarily. I use the word easier. It's like lifting weights. The weights don't get lighter. You just get stronger, so they get easier to lift. It's the same thing with relationship with food. Eventually, you just stop thinking about it. Like I wake up and I go on a walk. I don't always think about the walk. It's innate. It's so habitual that it's just who I am. And that's how it is with food too. These things aren't running my mind. They're just split-second decisions where I make healthy ones most of the time, but not always. And that is very attainable. You absolutely have what it takes to lose weight. You absolutely have what it takes to keep it off forever. You absolutely have what it takes to have a healthy relationship with food and to sustain your weight loss results. If you made it to the end of the podcast, I greatly appreciate you being here. The best thing you can do to support us, to support our community, and to support me as a storyteller and as a creator is to review this podcast, either on Apple or Spotify or any other platform that you're listening on. Anywhere from 1 to 5 stars. The reviews really help me and us and my team get this content out to other people just like you that would really benefit from hearing it. So thank you for your support, and thank you for leaving us a review. We'll see you next week.